This is Android Basics, in which we bring you up to date on the things that you should know to use your Android phone.
And now we turn to our Android Basics section. And I have a rant about this, spoiler alert. But we hand over to Warren to introduce the next section in our look at the Play Store.
As we plow our way through the Play Store, we come to the 9th entry, and I can't believe that we've had 8 segments from the Play Store. But the Play Store is massive, and frankly, if we're going to do any justice to it, we want to make sure that no stone is left unturned. And talking about no stone left unturned, now and then Google introduces something, and this is one of those cases whereupon by the time something came through, we had gone past that area. And so before we talk about today's entry, which will be continuing from the Play settings, which we'll be talking about a couple items in the way of the network preferences and purchasing authentication, I would like to talk about something that came through, and that's found in the Manage My Apps and Device. That's when you tap on your username and then you move your finger down and find that Manage Apps and Device. You're going to see your updates and all of that. And in there's something I want us to talk about, and that has to do with syncing or sensing devices. I will now show you what I'm talking about. So now I am in the menu, and I'll move my finger down and tap on Manage Apps and Device.
Manage Apps and Device, 2 of 7.
I'll go ahead and tap here.
Manage Apps and Device, Play Store. Manage Apps and Device, out of list.
I am here now in that area where we have things about updates and all
No
of that.
harmful apps found. Play protects. Updates available. 147 updates pending.
So I got 148 updates pending. But the one I want to talk about is below here, and it has to do about installing apps. So if I install apps here, I could choose to have that app automatically get installed on my other devices, provided that they are on the same account. Here's what I'm talking about.
Sync apps to devices. No devices synced. 4 of 6.
Sync app to devices. No devices in sync because I haven't chosen to do so. So if I tap here, for example,
Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
and I'm going to put my finger near the top so we hear the information,
Sync apps to devices.
and moving my finger down,
No devices synced.
I hear no devices sync, and below that,
Apps that you install on this device will also be installed on your sync devices.
so if I choose to sync some of my devices that will be showing below here, every time I install any app on this particular device, such an app will also get installed on my other app.
Samsung SMG 991U1. Checkbox. Not checked.
Okay.
Hisense HiSmart TV A4. TV. Checkbox. Not checked. Google Chromecast. TV. Checkbox.
As
Not
you can
checked.
see, these are,
Google Pixel 7 Pro. Phone. Checkbox. Not checked.
the list goes on and on. So if I check any of these, then every time I install an app, particularly from this phone, which is my Pixel 6 Pro, that will get installed on the chosen device. And now that we have touched on that, now let's go back now and focus on the items that we want to talk about today. And that would be from the settings. And we're talking about a couple today. We're talking about the network preferences, basically when you're downloading things, and the purchasing authentication. Let's now navigate back to the top and go find that settings.
Manage apps and device. Manage apps and device.
And I'm going to go back,
New apps we love. July's picks.
and that takes me back to the main UI of the Play Store. I will now tap on the top right corner on my username and go tap on Settings.
Signed in as Warren Carr Warcare at Gmail.
And I'm going to tap here.
Account and settings. Close. Button.
And now we move to the bottom and tap on Settings.
Settings. 1 of 2. In list. 2 items.
Here is Settings, and we'll tap here to activate.
Play Store. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
Now, last week we looked at the general. That was the first item here in the settings. And we're looking at the second item from below there and the third item. So the second item below the general item is
Network Preferences, Data Usage for Downloads, Auto Updates. Click to expand the Network Preferences settings section in List.
that's the first one we want to take a look at. And I'll tap here to expand this area.
Click to collapse the Network Preferences settings section.
Expanding that area, here are the items we find.
App Download Preference, over any network.
So here is the app download preference, how you want it to download, especially whether you want it on mobile data or not. You could tap here to go set how you want to do it. If you leave it on any network, then it means whether you're on Wi-Fi or on mobile data, it'll use whatever network that's available. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Google Play Store. App Download Preference, out of list.
And we got,
Over any network, data charges may apply.
or,
Radio button, selected.
so that's the one that is selected by default.
Over Wi-Fi only.
And the radio button below that.
Radio button, not selected.
If I check that, then it means it will only work on Wi-Fi. And
Ask me every time.
we got Ask Me Every Time. So in other words, every time there's an update or I want to download something, it's going to ask, hey, what network do you want to use? You want to use your mobile or your Wi-Fi? And I'm going to go to Cancel.
Ask Cancel button. Play Store. App Download Preference, over any network, in list.
Moving away from here, we come to the next item.
Auto Update Apps. Auto Update Apps over Wi-Fi only. Auto Update Apps over Wi-Fi only.
We come to updates and auto updates. So in other words, you could change how your updates are done, whether they can only be done when you're on Wi-Fi, or if you want, you could set it to where it could download on whatever network that's available to you. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Google Play Store. Auto Update Apps, out of list.
And putting my finger down
Auto Update Apps.
and moving down,
Over any network, data charges may apply.
we got the first item is over any network,
Radio button, not selected.
and that is not selected. The next item,
Over Wi-Fi only.
we got over Wi-Fi only,
Radio button, selected.
and that one is selected by default.
Don't auto update apps.
And the last one is don't auto update, and below that,
Radio button, not
the
selected.
radio button. So in other words, if you don't want your apps to automatically update, then you could choose this. And that means you have to manually go do your updates. I'll tap on the cancel.
Cancel button. Play Store. Auto update apps. Auto update apps over Wi-Fi only, in list.
Moving away, we come to,
Autoplay videos. Autoplay videos over Wi-Fi only.
and that has to do with playing videos, and you can go in here and change how it does it for you. That's the last item here in the network preferences. The next item, which is the second item we're looking at today in the player settings, is the one that has to do with purchasing authentication. And here it is.
Authentication. Fingerprint. Purchase authentication. Click to expand the authentication settings section.
And I'm going to tap here to activate.
Click to collapse the authentication settings section.
The first item we'll come across,
Biometric authentication for Google Play purchases on this device.
and we got,
Biometric authentication. Switch on.
and it's switched on.
Require authentication for purchases for all purchases through Google Play on this device.
And you could tap here if you don't want it to require authentication on the particular device you're working on. So for example, if I tap,
Google Play Store. Purchase authentication, out of list.
then we have the following.
Require authentication on this device.
And
For all purchases through Google Play on this device.
for all purchases,
Radio button, selected.
and that's selected. Next,
Every 30 minutes.
every 30 minutes,
Radio button, not selected.
or
Never.
never.
Radio button, not selected.
In other words, if you choose a never, then every time you make any purchase on this device, you wouldn't need to make some authentication. But it does say something here at the bottom.
To protect your account, authentication may be required for purchases in some apps regardless of settings.
So in some apps, it may still require your authentication. So I'm kind of imagining if it's a big purchase, they may want to make sure. And then below that, we have the cancel.
Cancel button.
There we go.
Play Store. Require authentication for purchases. For all purchases through Google Play on this device, in list.
And that's the last item here under purchasing authentication. And I'll now hand it over to the podcast crew and let's deliberate about these things.
Thank you, Warren. I will ask everyone else what they think in a minute, but I do have an issue with this purchase authentication thing. Now, I am fairly security conscious if you accept the fact I sideload APKs. You know, I have a third-party security suite on my phone. I never ever connect to public Wi-Fi. I always connect behind a VPN, and I would never advocate that anybody turn off authentication for purchases. But at the same time, you know, if you want to be silly and turn that off, I defend your right to be silly. And it should never be the case that you are occasionally asked to be authenticating purchases when you've set it to never. It's like not having a screen lock and being asked to enter a screen lock. It's absolute nonsense. And why is Google doing this, Warren?
So the only thing that could come to my mind is, you know, like I said, I think maybe if a purchase is maybe like a big one, maybe say it's $100 purchase or whatever, or, you know, like gamers and, you know, incessant in-app purchases or whatever, I think those things can go up by the thousands. I was reading here, and I can't believe that, you know, some kid blew up, you know, $60,000, you know, on in-app purchase of games and all of that. So I can see how that would be, that, you know, maybe something when it's getting incessant, that it may need some sort of an authentication. I don't know, but really, it just doesn't. If I've chosen never, then let it be. But I think they're also looking out for you in the event that maybe you're like Ed and you went to the pub and maybe had one or two and you didn't mean to say the words. You know, that's the only thing I can think of. But frankly, I don't know.
No, I mean, like, I think, to be fair, for the absolute record, if you set this to never, you're an absolute idiot, by the way. But I want to defend your right to be an idiot if that's what you want to be. Then why don't I don't get it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. And for the record, I don't think I've ever been to a pub. Have I been to a pub, Fee?
Oh boy! Now, you haven't been to a pub, Ed?
Don't believe
I
so.
think you might have been to quite a few pubs, Ed. I don't think you've been to a pub. No, I think you've been to lots of pubs.
I remember an episode that we had someone doing it from a pub, and if my memory serves me right, which I believe is still good, it was Ed.
Was
Yes,
it?
it was.
Was it? Was it though?
Yes, though.
Yeah, tell that to my 2-year-old.
Yeah,
but it
Alan?
was the episode of me being the Android journey guy.
Yeah,
Ed, I have my authentication set to never.
Do
Are
you?
disappointed in me? Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got a child.
I defend your right to do what you want, but what I don't think you should have to do is then authenticate.
Yeah, true. I mean, my thinking is, if my phone is unlocked, I did it. So I don't leave my phone, you know, screen on, sitting somewhere for somebody to pick up and buy something. So I just
How
have
long
it
does
set
it
to
take
never.
your phone before it locks? What have you set it to?
5 minutes.
Okay. You
mean the
might
screen
want to.
turns itself off?
Yeah, you might want to reduce that with a child around, though. If your child could accidentally buy apps, I heard of a case once where a child of 3 clicked to order a really expensive car on eBay once. So just, you know, let that be a lesson before it has to be, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok where they ordered, like, on DoorDash, like 500 hamburgers or something from McDonald's.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Wow.
I saw that too. That was absolutely fabulous. And one of our school friends, iPhoner, their child booked a viewing on their house, which is nice. It's a good job they didn't say it.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
Well,
I don't
never
know how
heard
there's
about that.
no, like, presumably they must have been vaguely thinking about it because there was some sort of estate agent app. Like, I don't know how you do that accidentally if something wasn't in the offing anyway. Like, how
Yeah,
do you find? I don't
that
have
would
an
be quite
estate agent's
elaborate,
app on
wouldn't
my
it?
phone. Exactly. So I'm guessing they must have vaguely, but yeah, the child booked a viewing on their parents' house.
How
One
old
of
was
our
the
school friends.
child?
2.
I think that what Ed was trying to say is that if I have chosen never, then don't give that occasional happening that I need to authenticate. So
Yeah, it's a bit
I
weird.
see Ed's point here, but like I said, probably they're just looking out for you. But if I decide to be, whatever, I know what I'm doing. So if I've
Yeah.
chosen never, then let me keep my never and don't bother me about it. But the good thing is that would only happen on that device, so it's not a cross-device setting.
No, and if we wanted to be infantilized, we'd buy an iPhone, wouldn't we? Well, Apple does that for us and prevents us from doing anything because it treats us like children. And I don't think we do want to be infantilized. So please don't do that, Google.
The one part that I want to talk about is that the network thing. Does anyone remember when it used to be that, if you just plug in your phone, you have updates waiting and it'll just auto update? I noticed that mine is doing that again. For a while it wasn't doing that. And then I realized now it's doing that again. But was that just me seeing that, or has anyone seen that?
I don't know. I've always left auto update on, so I don't know.
What I think's really weird though is how slow auto update is. Like it doesn't
Yeah, it
happen
can
very
be.
often, does it? Like
Yeah,
you went
true.
in and you had 100 you had maximum break, didn't you? 147. Like why haven't they just instantly updated?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
It's
I
like
don't
it tells you
understand
that you have available updates, and then you're like, okay, I have auto updates on. What the hell's going on, And then you never know. And also, it's very late. So, like, if an update comes, the beginning of this week, like the week, it might actually just get to you. Like, it's there, but it doesn't auto update like until 2 days
It's
later.
there. Yeah, it's there. Very interesting. And I think that it happens if you plug it in, though. And so if it's not doing anything and it's plugged in, then it will automatically update those. I think that's what I saw in one of mine, and that used to be the case. I don't know why Google hasn't, kept it that way. But things keep changing, on the Play Store. Next time this is happening, next time that feature's gone. It's just unbelievable.
You know what really winds me up? When you go and use an app and you need it immediately and it goes, "Oh, you need to update."
Oh, I hate that.
Envision,
So
I'm
annoying.
looking at you. Envision AI, Envision
Yes,
AI, Envision
yes,
AI.
yes.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it! It sucks because like I'm a beta tester and it doesn't get updated. What the hell's going on? Like
Yeah,
every single time you go in
I
there
know.
to do something and it tells you like there's an update. You need to update the app. I was like, okay, why isn't it updated like automatically?
No, but
Why?
also
Yeah.
don't make it so that I have to update the app to use a feature that already existed. Like I need to
But what-
scan text now immediately.
Yes.
I don't want to update an app. I don't care whether
Yeah,
it should have
I don't want to have
auto-updated.
to say to people, "Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Oh no, I'm not ready yet. No, I haven't read it yet. Oh dear, no, I haven't read it yet."
Yeah,
No, it's
Like,
a joke. Envision need to
it's
sort
not good.
this immediately.
But
they
the other
do.
thing that annoys me about apps is that if you don't use them for a while, they get disabled.
You can turn that off.
Oh, good. I'm going to then.
Yeah, quite how you do it depends on your phone, but it essentially prevents apps having permissions that if they somehow get malware invaded. But you can stop it doing that. Quite how you do it varies on your phone. But yeah, you should turn it off. It's very annoying.
That's really annoying because like sometimes you're busy and you don't use like I don't know,
Yeah.
Dolphin Easy Reader or something for a while.
Then you have to reconfigure the whole thing when you open it again, and it's a nightmare.
It's
You know,
really annoying.
It mostly happens with the Samsung phones, and you can just go into per application info and you can turn it off.
Can you turn it off for all apps?
globally.
Though?
You can turn it off globally, can't you, Sally? I think.
No, you need to one by one.
Oh, what?
No, I don't think you do. I'm pretty sure you can do it globally.
So if you go into the battery settings, you can set which are deep sleeping apps. Well, you can unsleep them all at once from there, but I don't know if you could.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to wake
Turn
them up. I
off.
want them not to have gone to sleep.
There's probably
You know,
a way to do it.
I'm a human. I need sleep. Apps don't. Sorry, they just don't. Stop it already.
I'm pretty sure you can stop that globally.
Well, yeah, if you go to the apps though, toward that bottom where it talks about apps, whatever, you could disable that feature. Say, hey, don't put my apps to sleep.
Yeah,
even if I don't use them. So.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But for me, I like that feature because, frankly, there are apps that probably I haven't used like in more than a year. You know what I mean? And I
had one. I hadn't
I
used.
didn't know I have this on there.
I had one I hadn't used for just 2 or 3 months, and it was disabled already.
Yeah.
And that was Dolphin Easy Reader. I'm looking at you, Dolphin Easy Reader, Dolphin Easy Reader, Dolphin Easy Reader. Stop it!
Go easy on the boys. I like those boys.
I'm not going easy on anyone.
No, speaking of Dolphin Easy Reader, I remember him purchasing a voice through them, and then it was a pain in the neck, like trying to purchase the voice and then trying to return it again because I wanted something else, like another voice, and it was. I remember I returned it and I received the refund email, and the voice was still there. I'm not even joking. Yeah, it was just.
Well.
Yeah.
I think to be fair, Jonathan's granddaughter, that's all right. I think for you, it might have been your phone that made Dolphin fall asleep rather than Dolphin. I don't think it put itself to sleep. I think that's Samsung that did that.
I think so, but I don't think Dolphin sells voices anymore. It looks like they don't anymore.
I'm not sure. That was like a couple months ago.
Dolphin won't sell voices anymore.
Well, it seems to me they only use like the Google voices. That's all that they have now.
They do computer. They do computer stuff though as well.
I'm talking about the Easy Reader. Is that not the one we're talking about?
They used to be like this to sell the vocalizer voices, like
that was like $9, and that's the one I ran it about. But they don't have that anymore. I don't see that at my end.
I'm not. So, like, if you purchased some, you still have them, but you cannot purchase them anymore. Right?
That's annoying.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I got my vocalizer voices
I don't
from
see the voices there anymore.
My vocalizer voices were from Code Factory. I thought.
Yeah, exactly. I bought mine from Code Factory too.
Yeah, but Fee, what we're saying though, the vocalizer from Code Factory is like $3.99, but the ones coming from Dolphin Easy Reader is like $9. And so, but the problem with Dolphin was that it wouldn't let you use locally available PTS engines that you have on your device. So you have vocalizer.
Oh, you mean PTS. For reading text?
Yeah,
that are in text. I never use it for that. I only read audio.
What sucked more was the fact that you have to use the default one that you're using, but you cannot use something else unless you buy from them.
Exactly.
Oh no, that's naughty.
And the voices were like more expensive than the original ones. However, you can even use them as like your TTS engine. It's like you purchase them for like higher price, and then you can't use them with the system.
I think we need to get Dolphin on and then we could have roasted Dolphin.
But they're not doing that. They're not doing that anymore. They're not doing that anymore.
And I'm not blaming them because his voice remeter did the same. So like you have to purchase acapella voices from them, and then you cannot use them with the system. And they used to be, I think they're not more expensive than the acapella voices themselves actually. So if you purchase an acapella voice, it's the same price, if not less.
Yeah. Does that Kindle workaround work? You know that weird thing we demonstrated where you can have a different system voice and a different Kindle voice. Will that work on Easy Reader?
No.
No, nowadays, like I said, Easy Reader just exclusively use, at least at my end, just uses the high quality voices from Google. And that's it.
Yeah. But do you remember when we showed the Kindle TTS splitting thing, where you go and you can set one engine? Will that work on Easy Reader?
I don't remember if it did, because I was a little bit pissed off with Easy Voice Reader. because of that inability to,
Yeah.
use my locally available TTS engines.
Because we did that on Kindle, didn't we? We fixed it. Well, we showed a fix, which is a bit weird, but it worked. Where you could have a different Kindle voice to the TTS. Do you remember we demonstrated it?
So I'm
Yes, we did.
curious, will that method actually work with Google Play Books? Because with Google Play Books, it's
Well,
the
that's
same
what I'm
issue.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'd go and have a look at it and try it on Easy Reader.